How do you do, all my friends? My name is Gunnar Clovis. I'm a game developer, and today I would like to play Nola Scar's latest game, Mag & Gun, which is playable in browser. Really awesome. I played Mask Warmer, which was a weekly game jam game from a while ago. Really great. I really like Mask Warmer. I'm actually going to open that up again because the... Okay, yeah, cool. They changed, yeah, they added a graphic, changed colors, add some screenshots, because this is a really good game that just wasn't communicated by the itch page, and I wish more people would play it. It's really nice. And, yeah, this is Mag & Gun. I don't really know anything about it. It's a endlessly side-scrolling shooter, which is definitely an action game by that description. But also, Noel updated their page. So, hello, my name is Noel Jasik. I live in Poland, and I am a game developer. Currently, I am 14-year-old, and I was interested in game development since I was 8, but I started making games when I was 13. Awesome. So, one of the other creators I've been following a lot lately, trying to finish their library, is Redishenka, which is a 13-year-old Russian game developer. I really love seeing young people in games. Really awesome. I wish I was doing this when I was that young. I wish I had this kind of access to computers and internet and knew about itch.io, because it's the best thing you can be doing is publish everything you make to itch.io. I cannot recommend that enough to anyone, regardless of how old you are or where you are in your stage of game development. But yeah, I use Unity and C# to create my games, GIMP for my in-game graphics, and Audacity BFXR to create sound effects. So awesome. That is a fantastic lineup of software. That's pretty much the software I recommend everyone, except I personally don't love GIMP. GIMP is totally a fine software. If you can get along with GIMP, all the more power to you. I greatly prefer Paint.net, both being kind of free Photoshop alternatives. I really don't get along with GIMP, but if you do, that's fantastic. It's a totally fun software. Unity C# of course being most popular engine, really great to export to everything, including web, so you can play it in browser, which I recommend you do for all games all the time. Even update games that were download only and make them playable in browser. I've done that with quite a few of my older games. It's the best thing to do. It makes your games a lot more accessible, and just you'll get more attention, and it makes for a cooler portfolio. It's just better all around. And Audacity BFXR. Audacity, of course, is a great free audio editor. Really recommend that. And BFXR, the newer iteration of SFXR, which was created, I believe that was created during Ludum Dare. I think it was made during a game jam for game jam games. And that makes sound effects. It's how I make most of my sound effects as well. Really great for getting kind of especially 8-bit sound effects very quickly. Really wonderful program. BFXR is a newer, more fully featured version. You can download it or use it in browser. Really fantastic. Also have some contact info. Fantastic. So yeah, Mag & Gun. This was, okay, also a weekly game jam game made for week 134. Super cool. And yeah, they have a cover image, which is important. You need to have a name, cover image, and a build for your games, or else your games cannot be indexed, which means they cannot be found in itch.io or Google, etc. search results. They're not on the surface web. They're still part of the deep web. So this game was created for week 134 of Weekly Game Jam. For this game jam, I tried random generation. I never really made anything with random generation, so I learned a bit about it. Mag & Gun is a fast-paced, endless side-scroller that features a lot of shooting. Game features a lot of shooting, but not a lot of guns. Well, for now, but I am planning on adding more guns and other features in the future. Update, okay, fix minor bugs, graphics, KKKK. Alright, all sprites, scripts, and sound effects were created by me, but the music wasn't. It's created by fallen creators. Alright, cool. Yeah, awesome. Give credit where credit is due, always. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this is good. This gives all the information. Very cool. And yeah, and they've set a different theme for the page, so it has this nice soft purple. Oh, what's the term for that purple? Oh god, there's a term for this exact shade of purple, and I'm spacing on it. And then this nice kind of grape purple for the links. I like that. And then they have set a background image you can see for the true background, because it seems like it's just this one solid color, but with these little yellow specks. So that makes it different, and that's totally good. Very little work to do that, and yeah, just makes it a little bit more visual interest. That's probably an asset from within the game. Yeah, it's this kind of starry sky, it looks like, but there might be a sizing issue that's making it so like only 2 dots are visible. But yeah, no, it's totally good. Okay, so we can choose between fast and fantastic for graphic settings. Interesting. Very cool. And a good thing I can full screen the game thanks to Unity. Huh. I did not expect this choice. I think I'm gonna go with fantastic, but yeah, this is really cool. So the fantastic is showing kind of more of a glow and some slightly different colors. But yeah, cool to offer choices to your developers. I mean, sorry, to your players. And of course, hovering over each of them. Oh, that's nice, actually. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is you got me. I was about to suggest something, and you're already doing it. So every time you have a button of any kind, it should react to the player mouse hovering over it, right? That's pretty standard. You need that. You need to have some kind of reactivity, or else the player doesn't know that their input is being recognized. It's super important. Adds visual interest, but it's a communication thing. And then what I was gonna say is the buttons here are clearly these sprites, right? The little gray boxes. But the labels are also part of it, so something you can do is expand the hitbox of the button to the text as well, and you can see they're already doing exactly that in Nolascar. If we hover over fantastic or fast, it reacts just the same as that's part of the button. So I should be able to just click that, and yep, it works. That's fantastic. That's exactly that's fantastic. It's exactly what you should be doing. And yeah, even in here we have more things. We have settings. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is the settings screen, and we can go back to it. Very cool. That's actually super smart, especially when the settings is really simple. Like, this is just a very basic binary graphics choice. Having the player start on the settings screen and then moving to the main menu, that can be a really good idea, and I think that's definitely was a good idea here. So Magen Gun, nice, not a lot of movement, or no movement on the screen, but it's totally serviceable. It's a pretty good font. The edges seem kind of scratchy. It's probably intentional. Actually, yeah, I kind of like it. Looks interesting. So we can go to how to play. All right, nice little tweening. Perfect. Tween everything all the time, especially menus. Tween everything about your menus so that the value is changing not at a linear pace, but kind of moving according to a part. Oh shit. Whatever, I'll cut anyway. According to a quadratic equation. So here, yeah, movement WS up down. Okay. Oh, okay. It's a WS/ up down. All right, that was phrased kind of weirdly. Sorry, that's my bad. And yeah, so perfect. Having multiple input options, always do that. Shoot with spacebar, mouse 1. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I'm using W and mouse. So we can seppuku to kill ourselves. So very cool. So I'm just kind of dodging stuff like a simple endless runner. I like this music. I'm pressing spacebar and mouse 1 and I don't see any changes. I'm particularly, oh, well, I just ran into that. Okay, 130, let's try that again. So I'm actually gonna move my hands so that I don't have my left hand on the WASD and right hand on the mouse. I'm going to do a more comfortable position with my left hand on spacebar and my right hand on up and down. But that might not work because I can't restart without that. So anytime you have that, this is very common, especially, actually, it's really unfortunately common, and it's exacerbated when a game does not use the mouse for its gameplay. It only uses it for the menus, so the hand has to kind of move back and forth between the keyboard and the mouse. That's super obnoxious, don't do that. So here, I'd like, as I said, to use only the keyboard. That's more comfortable for me. But because I have to use the mouse to restart, I need to keep my hand on the mouse, which is unfortunate. So simple fix would be letting there be some kind of cursor when you press up and down. Maybe it doesn't exist until you press up and down. That goes away if you move the mouse. That's totally normal. That's pretty easy to do and a very common tactic in game development. So that I could press spacebar as the alternative to using mouse 1, so that the game controls are also the menu controls. That is a lesson you should take with pretty much any game. Whatever your game controls are, that should be how you manipulate the menu as well. That's pretty standard, pretty easy to do, and makes it a lot more comfortable. All right. Okay, so there's a gun there. I'm pressing space, so I guess that's only gonna work if I pick up a gun, and I have not been seeing a ton of those. Yeah, so pressing space, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, so score ticking up pretty quickly. Ammo is 0 out of 0. Because the game has pretty long stretches of emptiness, like right here, I can actually look up into the corner. I generally don't recommend having important information. Oh, okay, there we go. Ha! Oh my god, I love it, actually. So we're a little magnet, and we pick up guns. And then we shoot rockets and stuff. Oh my god, I kind of love it. The main threat, at least so far, is definitely, oh god, the walls. Not so much the projectiles, but this is fantastic. This is super cute. Yeah, and it does just kind of seem like it's better to dodge than to shoot. But I love it. I'm just a magnet holding a gun. And I think it's awesome. Ah, all right. 376. All right, there we go. Oh, is it the same? Okay, well, no. It said this is random generation. That was kind of the whole point of this project. And Endless Runners are the perfect project to pick to practice procedural generation, or procgen. Because they're, yeah, just you flowing through an endless stream of levels, increasing your score. Maybe there could be goals, like, one of my procedurally generated games that's on itch is, God, it's a terrible name. I'm terrible at naming things. I believe it's called Sunny New Year Death of Snowman. It was made for like a trifecta of game jams, and I was trying to use like a bunch of themes simultaneously. Namely, you know, Christmas magic and like snow, winter, and cool temperatures and New Year's and a bunch of different stuff. So that's a silly game, but that's actually kind of like a weird Endless Runner Sokoban-ish game. It's a very weird game. It's not very pretty, but I am proud of it. It actually won the Mega Tri-Jam. And that is similarly, it's a string. I think there's about like 30 mini levels, and there's some randomization to the levels themselves, but it's mainly picking through a set list of levels. There's a long silence here when the music loops. But yeah, that game, it's picking through a long list of levels, but there is a goal. There's an end to the game. It's not high score based, which I thought that was interesting. That's not necessarily the best move. I don't know. A high score probably is the better way to take a game like this. And actually, the music is not looping now, which is unfortunate. Not the biggest deal. It's probably just like one line of code where the the music call set loop to false instead of true or something like that. So I do like the background here. I don't really get where we are. I don't really get the theming of this game, which is totally fine. Game themes do not need to make sense. Everyone always, it's kind of cringy because I hear it over and over, but everyone always points to Mario. It's like, oh, Mario's so weird. Your plumber eats mushrooms. And yeah, It's a totally valid argument, but I've literally heard it like 80 times, and so it's not it's not as interesting, and it's kind of annoying to me. But it's a valid argument that, yeah, Mario and a lot of the most popular game characters, their themes don't really make any sense, because it's not important. It's about the gameplay. So while it's cool to do story stuff in games, gameplay comes first. Gameplay should always come first. That's why it's a game. Otherwise, go... Ah! Man, I would have been fine if I just didn't mess with it. Dang it. Yeah, gameplay always comes first. Otherwise, just go write a book or something. Oh, man. So when I die to those missiles, it's because I'm just stupid and I move into it. I don't feel like I have a lot of usage for these guns, which is cool, because I'm sorry, which is... it's the opposite of what I said, which kind of sucks, because the guns are really cool. Look at these guns. Look at that. It has a really nice sound effect. Look at how there's like that muzzle flash. There's a lot of good stuff happening there. And it's just... oh, man. And it's just not really going to be appreciated, because there's no real reason, oh my god, to use the guns, because they only affect, I believe, actually I don't think I tried them on the wall, but I'm pretty sure they only affect the projectiles, right? Oh, what's that? Yeah. Yeah, what's that little hit sound effect? Yeah, so it doesn't affect the walls at all. So the guns are really cool, and that's half the name of the game. It's Mag and Gun, which I really like. But the guns just aren't doing a lot, so... I don't know, I think the guns could be made to maybe shoot down the walls as well. Because otherwise they're just not going to get a lot of usage. Because even when I die to the rare rocket, I mean, I'm mainly dying to the rockets. When I die to those, it's not because I'm going head on, it's because I move upwards or downwards into them like a fool. Yeah, I also think this game could be a little bit harder. Obviously, I'm dying. But I don't know, I think it is fairly slow. Oof. So even there, I shot that guy, but that didn't really help me at all, because I still had to dodge either way to dodge their bullet fire, so like, what was even the point of shooting them? Unless it got me additional score. That could be one thing. Actually, yes, if shooting down the little turrets and rockets gives me additional score, that makes them more useful, but I have seen no evidence of this, and that's not obvious if that's the case. See, I want to try and shoot down a rocket and pay attention to the score if I can, but the rockets are so rare, and I'm never over by them. There, I probably could have taken one, but... See, there, if I tried to go up to shoot it, but that was just getting me killed. So yeah, I think earlier I was trying to say, I like how the background of this game, it's a simple little kind of industrial theme. I don't know where we are. There's like random walls and turrets, question mark, and missiles, and we're a magnet on a chain. I don't know what the theming is. That's not important though. Theming isn't important. Look at Mario, blah blah blah. But yeah, we're in some kind of sci-fi-ish spaceship maybe, because it seems like it's a starry sky behind us, right? Which is cool. Starry skies are like the easiest background to do for games, which is why, you know, space shooters and stuff are so popular. It's like the easiest visual theme, especially with programmer art. See, I can't tell what those turrets are. They're moving too fast to get a good look at them. And so yeah, we're in this kind of like weird infinite corridor with windows, and that's how we see the starry sky background, which is staying still. I really like that. I like that quite a lot. I think it adds a lot of visual interest, and yeah, having this layer, it doesn't mean that most of the background is just kind of empty gray space. But I don't know, I like it quite a bit. I think it's a smart choice. You can do a lot of stuff because that doesn't take much work, right? To just have these screens or yeah, background sprites overlaid on top of each other. And yeah, that makes some visual interest. That's the core of parallax. This isn't parallax, but that's the same idea. And wow, I'm really bad at that. I'll also note that how I die there, it's a nice, it seems to be a really nice particle effect. See there. But the game over screen comes so quick I can't really appreciate it. Like, look at that. That seems like a really cool particle effect. Although it also seems like, yeah, the missiles just kind of keep living past me, which is silly, but not important. Oh, man. The game over screen is, again, kind of collapsing from the top very nicely, just like Mask Former. That's, again, very simple kind of transition trick to do, but really nice and something I, frankly, need to do more in my own work. It's really cool. So actually, I want to try something. If I get hit by a wall, it was like pushing me. No, yeah, it didn't kill me. Like, oh, I guess it did kill me. Okay. Okay, yeah, I thought I could escape. Yeah, no, I can't escape. All right, yeah. So mostly, it seems like getting on the wall slows me down tremendously, so it's very difficult to escape, but it's possible. And then, yeah, so getting on the wall kind of pushes me backward a little bit along my chain, and then I catch up if I'm able to escape. Like that. Yeah, you see that? That's cool. Yeah, I like little stuff like that. Now, the one thing is I've died many times, and I think my score got up to... Yeah, so this is not tracking a high score, which is really unfortunate. That is like the main thing you want to do in a score-based game, any kind of endless game where you're fighting for high score. But on the menu and in the death screen, and arguably here in the main game as well, actually yes, I think absolutely in all three places, you should be keeping my high score. And there's no reason not to do this, because it's one of the easiest things to do in game development. It's just storing a number. And yeah, if we just had high score above this, that's... you really need that for a score-based game, otherwise there's no real point. You just kind of have to guess and remember, I don't know, like if players wanted to share their high scores, they'd have to like take a screenshot of every single one and yeah, try and remember what their best scores were. Yeah, that is probably this game's biggest problem, which I'm going to be harsh on because it's such an easy problem to fix, right? It's just saving one integer across the entire play session. For a mobile, not a mobile, for a web-based game like this is with Unity WebGL, either with WebGL or with HTML5, you cannot, at least easily, save data between game sessions. So that means the entire instance of this running, not between if I hit seppuku, right? I can go back to the main menu. This is still the same game session. The window hasn't changed. But if I hit reload, this would now be a new game session. So you can't store information between game sessions because it's in a browser. We can't save files to the user's computer through normal means as we would with a downloadable PC or Mac or Linux build. There is a way to do that, but it requires like networked computer stuff and probably your own server, which is way overkill and not at all necessary. But it should still be saving a high score within the same session. So it would get erased when I reloaded the page, when I closed this browser and came back at a later time. I would not expect it to stay there, and I don't think players would either. But you really need a high score for within this one session. And yeah, I think I've harped on that long enough. Yeah, so really cool. I'm very happy to see Nullscar producing more games. Really awesome to see new and young game developers. I really like seeing people start very young, because then you have literally years. If you make games regularly, by the time you're 18, you'll be outclassing like everybody. Like if you make a game a week for until you're 18, how many games. That's a ton of games. Like, actually, yeah, I want to do that math real quick. Quick math. So 365 days a year, 7 weeks. So that's about 52 weeks. And then you have, if we say you like just turned 14, you have 4 years until you're 18. So that's 200 possible weekly games. Obviously, you're probably not going to do that to that kind of perfection. But if you did, you could have 208 games by the time you're 18, which is incredible. That would just be this ridiculous library of games, outclassing people like me, pretty much everybody, and I guarantee your skills would just be insane. You'd have so much confidence, be able to build up quite a community, and probably before you're 18, you could genuinely start a business at this. Start your own like indie games business if you had that kind of massive library and the resultant possible fan base and experience from it. Really incredible, but you'd have such a big portfolio, you'd be able to get whatever kind of game development job you'd want. And that is what I wish I could have done when I was 14. I wish, you know, as I've said before, with this silly YouTube channel, my main goal is I'm trying to provide what I wish someone could have done for me when I was starting with games. Like, my first game was when I was about 14, I think, but I wasn't the programmer, I didn't really have the tools, and yet I definitely didn't know about a site like itch.io. I frankly don't know how old Itch is. I don't know if it would have been around when I was 14. But this is such an incredible time to be starting a game development. It's a really incredible time to be a game developer. The tools are more accessible than they've ever been. It's easier to make games than it ever has been, or it's just getting easier all the time. But this is a wonderful time to enter the field, either as a hobbyist or as a professional, or seeking to be a professional. And yeah, the best thing you can do is just make a lot of small games that are finished. Both of these games, stuff could be added to, right? I just gave a lot of different ideas to improve Mag & Gun. Not that much. But I wouldn't expect really any of them to be implemented. Maybe high score, because high score is really important for a score-based game, and it's a very simple patch. But generally, the advice I give, I don't expect it to be applied. I'm just trying to give it to help the developers, but really to help myself, to help anyone watching, so that we can learn from successes and failures of everyone, of each other. I'll be doing more videos on my own games later and talking about all of my own mistakes, because I certainly do not perfectly practice everything I preach, which is not a prerequisite to giving advice. And yeah, just making a lot of small finished games, even though there are improvements that can be made. Massacre, Mag & Gun, and the games like it that I play, they're all finished games. You can just leave these. You can drop these with full confidence. You do not need to come back to these if you don't want to. If you want to do a hotfix to add something like a high score, or make simple changes, simple bug fixes, sure, go ahead and do that. All the more power to you, but you do not need to feel obligated to do that. The most important thing is that you're finishing projects. This is my biggest recommendation I make to anyone. You just need to finish small projects all the time, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, again, I'm a broken record, I know, but you'll gain so much experience, get a lot of joy out of it, because game development, I mean, I assume you probably find it fun at this point, but like any skill, the better you are at it, the more fun it is, right? And so the more games you make, the more you want to make games. It's a vicious cycle, but it's a good positive feedback loop, right? Because it's encouraging you to build more and to get better, and yeah, that's what it's all about. I think you're on an amazing path, 14 years of age, and doing like pretty solid games. It says you've been interested in game development since you're 8, started making games when you're 13. If you have any other games from when you're younger, put them on itch, please. Put every game you ever made on itch. I know that can be annoying and slow. I'm still in the process of uploading some of my oldest student games, at least the ones I still have. But really awesome. Yeah, 14-year-old Polish game developer, really cool. Yeah, actually, one of my good friends, Patrick Galak, is a game developer from Poland. I'll link his stuff in the comments. He might be a good source to reach out. He is one of the organizers for the Lublin Global Game Jam, which we just had our Global Game Jam. I ran my site for the Las Vegas area for Nevada. And and Patrick is one of the organizers for, yeah, Lublin, Poland, Global Game Jam, Lub Jam. So really, really cool. Always a growing community all around the world. Game development is a wonderful industry for kind of bringing us all together internationally. I'm really happy to see it. I hope you have found this video fun or enjoyable, insightful, educational in some respect. My name is Gunnar Clovis. I hope you are having a good time on your game development journey. I encourage you, again, to just keep making games, make small games, make games you finish. Don't work on endless projects forever. I don't want you to work on anything for really over, I don't know, over a few months, unless you have like quite a few games under your belt and you think you're ready to move up to that. Making small games is way better than making big projects for your own personal experience, your growth, your happiness, and for building a following. Much more important to build small games. There are a lot of other videos like this on the channel. I am releasing a video every day in 2020, which is ridiculous. I decided that on a whim on January 1st, and I've kept up with it. I come really close to missing the deadline pretty much every day, but I'm managing to get it out. I really hope I don't miss one all year, but we'll see. But even if I do, I'm definitely keeping up with this. This has been amazing. The response has been incredible. I thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a very niche topic, but I really like providing this kind of attention, feedback, and encouragement to new game developers. Again, just trying to provide what I wish someone could have for me. Trying to empower the next generation a little better. And yeah, really, really cool. I love to see all this. I hope you're having a lovely day. Please remember to love and respect each other. Always assume the best of people. Don't talk crap behind people's backs. And have a lovely day. Goodbye.